Some cars are greater than the sum of their parts. They may not be the fastest or have the best brakes or even handle the best. But every component, every nut, every bolt comes together in the most perfect way. The driver, of course, is at the heart of all this synergy, becoming as tightly integrated into the machine as the engine itself. The Mazda MX-5 is probably the most consumer-friendly car that meets this description. There are of course other cars that are rawer or more pure, but these cars are typically too impractical for day-to-day use. The cost of ownership and hassle of keeping everything working perfectly soon outweighs the enjoyment that most people will ever get from driving them. The Mazda MX-5 though suffers from none of these problems. In so many ways, it is the perfect sports car, which is why I bought this exact car twice.
So the first of the two things that I would say that this car really taught me was all about car control. And what I really liked about it was that this was a car that was raw enough and doesn't really have driver's aids. It's got ABS but no traction control, no ESP, nothing really nannying you there. So it's raw enough that it's up to you as the driver to do it and get it right. And if you get it wrong, you're going to pay the price. But at the same time, it's not constantly trying to kill you. And I think if you were to drive a car like the TVR, and if that was the first proper sports car experience that you had, you're not going to learn much in the TVR other than what it feels like to leave the road at great speed and break lots of bones as you smash into a tree. If you were to try and learn car control in something like a Porsche Boxster, you'd probably find it too difficult to actually get near the limit because the limit is so high. And then on one day on a damp road, when you do actually hit the limit, what you would probably find is you wouldn't so much learn about controlling a car at the limit as much as you would learn about how a lovely, nicely balanced mid-engine car bites you so horribly, as soon as it starts to lose traction. Because that's the downside to that mid-engine layout, is that you have this beautiful fine balance when everything's going well, but it's quite hard to control it when it starts to go wrong. Whereas in something like the MX-5 with this engine at the front, rear wheel drive, good 50-50 weight distribution, it's quite forgiving. And I think if there's one word I would really emphasize with this, it is forgiving. And it's not going to stop you making mistakes, but it's quite keen to help you out just through good fashioned, mechanical engineering when things do go a little bit wrong. The second key takeaway or key learning that I had from owning this car, and it was a learning that I never really appreciated until actually I'd owned the Boxster for about a year, but I learned just how good a sports car could actually be. And I think it's a bit of a shame that for most car enthusiasts or driving enthusiasts, I think they go through a huge part, maybe all of their lives, and never actually experience just how good a car can be. And what I mean by that is a car that you truly feel connected with on a regular basis. And I think the best way I can sort of explain this a little bit is with a short story. So I'd owned the Boxster for about a year, and I was driving back home one evening, having met with a friend, and on a stretch of road, and I turned left at one junction, and in about 100 yards I was going to be turning right at another. 60 mile per hour piece of road, absolutely beautiful day, warm, blue skies, etc. So I just absolutely planted the throttle as I went between these two junctions. And as I went to turn right at the next one, having absolutely blasted through the gears, foot to the floor, went to turn right at the next one, and really heavy braking, trying to brake as hard and as late as I dared to do, basically. And it was as I did that, having had that blast and then the really hard deceleration, it was the first time that I ever felt really connected with the Boxster. And it was a really joyous moment, because it just feels so amazing when you get that. But almost immediately after, that awesomeness, I felt kind of sad, because I thought, I've owned this car now for 12 months, and this is the first time I've ever had that feeling. And it was a feeling that I got, not every day, but on a very regular basis driving this MX-5. And it was kind of, I didn't realise I was missing that until I got it again. And it was probably actually at that point that I made the decision that, yeah, the MX-5 was probably a better sports car, and the Boxster, you know, it just wasn't really working for me. And it would be another year before I traded the Boxster for the TVR, but I think that was probably the most decisive moment, you know, in my ownership with it. Boxster was an absolutely brilliant car, make no mistake, but it wasn't special to drive the way that the MX-5 feels, which, given the MX-5 is a car that costs, you know, almost half the price, is kind of strange to say, but it is kind of how I feel it is. So thank you for watching Carbon Garage. I hope you found this video interesting. Definitely the most ambitious with those drone shots. If you liked what you saw, please click like and don't forget to subscribe for more. And if you click the little bell icon thingy, you will get notifications straight to your phone, which makes sure you don't miss out on anything. Thank you. Goodbye.